The Iron Curse, a tale of rust and madness. I used to be proud of my son, Thomas, a brilliant inventor, always tinkering in the garage. When he came home with a prototype suit of armor, a real, functioning exoskeleton, I thought he'd change the world. And he did. Just not in the way anyone expected. At first, the suit was miraculous. It gave him strength, speed, and invulnerability. "Dad," he told me one night, his eyes alight with ambition, "this is going to save lives." But something changed after the third test run. The suit stopped coming off. Thomas laughed it off, saying it was just a malfunction. But I could see the panic in his eyes as he tried to pry the helmet from his head. Days turned into weeks, and the suit began to fuse with him. The seams vanished. His skin took on the sheen of polished steel. I begged him to stop using it, but he wouldn't listen. Then the voices started. Thomas began talking to the suit, or rather, whatever was inside it. He called it the core, claiming it was alive. "It's helping me evolve," he said. But his voice had changed. It echoed, metallic and hollow. One night I woke to a horrible sound, a grinding metallic screech. I ran to the garage and found him hunched over, his body writhing. His arms had transformed into jagged blades, and his face was no longer human. "Dad," he said, his voice distorted, "I'm becoming something greater." That was the last time I saw my son. The next morning the news reported a massacre downtown. People sliced to ribbons, buildings gutted like fish. Surveillance footage showed a hulking, rust-covered figure moving through the streets, his blades dripping with blood. They called him the Iron Reaper. I called him my son. I tried to stop him. I tracked him down to an abandoned factory and begged him to come home. He looked at me with those cold, glowing eyes and said, "Home? I am home. You should leave, Dad. The core doesn't like intruders." I didn't leave. I fought him. He was faster, stronger, and utterly merciless. His blades tore through concrete like paper, and his laughter, God, his laughter, echoed in my ears as I dodged blow after blow. I managed to set off an explosion, collapsing part of the factory on him. For a moment I thought it was over, but then I heard the grinding of metal. He rose from the rubble, his body mangled and twisted but still moving. "You can't kill progress," he said. I ran. I'm not ashamed to admit it. I ran and never looked back. They say the Iron Reaper still stalks the city, hunting those who dare to stand in his way. And me, I'm hiding, praying he never finds me. If you ever see a man in a rusted suit of armor, run. Don't try to fight. Don't try to reason. Just run. Believe what's next.